Hello everyone, this is Dun Ziao. Welcome to our assignment presentation video. Our title is The Comparison of Red in Chinese and English from the Cognitive Semantic Perspective. Our study will be presented in three parts: introduction, literature review, and research design. And I will introduce the introduction part firstly. By life experience, color terms don't only represent colors. People associated many things with colors when they see them. Based on this, we found a scientific explanation for this in our reading of the literature. That is, color concept associations. It means every perceivable color is associated with every possible concept. For example, mentioning yellow may lead to think of a banana, because generally banana is yellow. But the fact that it can be connected to something that shows that color does not mean that it is connected from something that does not show that color. For example, watermelon can be associated with Christmas. Watermelons have green skin and red flesh, and when it comes to Christmas Day, people always think of red and green colors. So watermelon can be associated with Christmas. Next, after fully understanding this background, we decided to orient our research to explore the differences in the semantic meaning of color words in Chinese and English. Since different countries are involved, the theoretical framework of our research is cognitive semantic. And combined with color words, it means that color terms have rich semantic meaning and they have abstract concepts in human language. When abstract concepts are used to represent colors, color terms are endowed with rich derived, associative, and symbolic meanings. People's understanding of color also reflects their cognitive ways of thinking. For example, these factors can affect that cultural background, living environment, and education. Next, we plan to just choose color red to study because first, it can be universally recognized throughout all over the world. Even in different cultural backgrounds and living environments, people can easily have their own perception and understanding of red. And second, the implicit semantics behind the color red and people's perception of it vary greatly in different cultural contexts, which is of certain research value. Okay, that's all my parts.
Okay, now I will briefly introduce the literature review part and examples. For most people, color is an essential component of their perception of the world. It's not difficult for us to find that there are a great number of studies which are focused on color words, while they were from quite different aspects. Lee 2020 conducted a study by comparing the metaphorical usage of several shared basic color terms between English and Chinese. Try to show the similarities and the dissimilarities between them. And here are some examples in the chart. First of all, let's look at blue. In both English and Chinese, have color phrase to express a metaphorical meaning, a plan. English is blueprint and lantu in Chinese. However, when we come to sadness, we can use English feeling blue to express it, but no such kind of color phrase in Chinese. The same as color word green. Green years and 青葱岁月 are both used to express youth. While in English, no this kind of color phrase to describe permission like 绿色通道 in Chinese. El Haya 2019, based on connotation, aimed to explore if there exists any similarities of basic color words meaning between Arabic culture and English culture. Okay, now let's take white as an example. If this Arabic color phrase translated into English is white weapon, behind Arabic culture, it means peaceful, harmless, achieve the target without violence, the same as white flag in American culture. Let's move to the different point. Hot white transferred from Arabic language, it means a person who is pure, kind, and giving. This is absolutely opposite to white-hearted in English. It refers to someone who is coward. Let's look at Golda 2022. She studied 6 colored terms in 5 linguistic images of the world. This analysis is also based on denotative and connotative meaning. Let's look at green hills from the visual aspect. This usually associates with plants and greenery. This is from denotative aspect. And when we look at a green campaigner, this points to the people who wish to protect the environment from the mental attitude. Finally, let's move to the pragmatical part of the color words. Fernandez, Monica, and Antiger 2021 researched the color words used the pragmatical for efficiency in communication, adopt a comparative analysis to distinguish the difference between English listeners and the Spanish listeners. It means when both of them listened to the word of the phrase, the blue triangle, the English listener was guided by color and refined by shape, which contrasts to the Spanish listener, guided by shape and refined by color. Because in Spain, the color words is put behind the shape word triangle. And we can see in this chart, the Spanish language translated into English is the triangle blue. This is different from in the English listener, the blue triangle. So in conclusion, color words has been researched from different perspectives, from cultural linguistic, social linguistic, the native linguistic, pragmatic, and the lexical semantics, etc. And we can find that through most of the research, they usually use comparison and try to show the similarities and the dissimilarities of target color words in different national cultures or texts. But researchers discuss from cognitive semantic are limited, and the color terms analyzed were mostly taken from the dictionaries or corpus, and the deep exploration of color words between Chinese and English is limited. That's on my part, and the next part we will move to our research design.
Now I'm going to talk about the research design. In the research design part, it consists with the research gaps, research questions, and research designs. So first, I'm going to talk about the research gaps. And although the basic semantic and metaphorical use of color words in different cultures and have been extensively explored, there are still significant research gaps. First, the lack of semantic comparison and analyze of metaphorical usages of Chinese and English color words in different contexts leads to a lack of understanding of their specific application in different cultures. Second, we focus on cross-cultural communication and translation. The existing study pay a little attention to the particle application of color words in cross-cultural communication and translation, especially in terms of how to avoid cultural misunderstanding and the translation errors. The last one is there are many researchers on color words in psychology and cognitive science, but many papers do not start with linguistics, especially from the perspective of semantics. So next I'm going to talk about the research questions. There are 3 questions. First is, what are the similarities and differences in millions of Chinese and English color red? The second is, how do cultural, historical, and social contexts influence semantics of color red in 2 languages? The third is that we're gonna focus on the question that which focus on cross-cultural communication and translation. So the question is, what impact do these semantic differences have on cross-cultural communication and translations? Next, I'm talking about the research design. There are three dimensions. The first is a method, the second is theoretical framework, the last is the data collection. The method that we used is the qualitative method, which is content analyze. The theoretical framework that we used is cognitive semantic. Then is the data collections. Here are 4 steps. The first is we gotta make a questionnaire, and in this questionnaire, we'll include 3 questions. The first is, do you know some? The first question is, what's your feeling when we mentioned red? The second is, do you know some phrases about red? The last one is, what the first things that comes to mind when we mention red? Then we gotta categorize and organize those words according to the semantics characteristics. In this step, we're gonna use word cloud because I think this will make our research be more clear. And then we're gonna analyze and organize those words into categories according to their sense and usages. The last step, we're going to analyze the data to build a network of relationship between the words and semantics to help understand the semantics group and the relevance of words. Finally, analyze which aspect influences the cultural usage of the words, color words the most. So this is our references. Thank you. This is all of our presentation.